You're having fun with that button.
It's not about having fun. It's like just moments ago we were doing something else, and suddenly we're like oh no, ago. Oh no. Yeah, I know. It's like, oh no, we need to go live, and we did it on time again.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
we
morning.
are officially live on not only Facebook, but also Rumble. Well, I guess we started with Rumble.
Yeah.
We added Facebook, and now we are simultaneously casting to YouTube live as well today.
And maybe we'll add Twitch or Kick or something.
I'm sorry. We're in so many places now, and yeah, we're good. We figured out how to make it work so that on YouTube our lives are more visible.
Yeah, the issue was
find.
that we didn't have. You'd have to go to our channel and then click the live tab to look at past lives, which is not that I believe in past lives.
It's a different thing.
Yeah, no. Now we're just doing. We rearranged the stuff on our homepage, so not only does the live show up at the top, apparently twice. We might have to adjust that.
It's okay.
But we did put a category on the main page so that people can go back and look at live streams. They didn't show up as videos, even if you couldn't.
Which was weird.
Well, you can't add a video. You can't add a live to a playlist. It looks like, so it would never show up in a playlist. So we were adding them. We were recording the lives and then adding them to YouTube so we could put them in a playlist. But now we only have.
So now
the one show.
This one won't be in the.
It won't be
playlist.
No, because the playlist would be a separate. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see if we can go back and edit it later, but I don't.
But good morning.
I don't think so.
It's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, May the 7th, and I'm Seth.
I'm Tammy.
And we are the 4031 family.
Yeah, and I think we have one of our other members of the 4031 family watching from home today.
He was, but
he may not be now.
That's okay.
Work from home Wednesday for their company.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
For some of them, at least.
Yeah, some of us have to slog all the way. Oh, no, wait.
You're always work from home.
I get to work from home all the time, which is such a blessing. So.
Yeah, it's a hardship when the company comes to you and says, "Hey, we kind of need your office. You want to work from home?" We're like,
yes.
Okay. But yeah, that job starts in 25 minutes, so we get to get going.
Oh, sorry.
Hopefully today's devotion will run a little smoother than yesterday's when I ran it.
I thought yesterday.
Seth is running it today, so it will be much better. Oh, no,
didn't I tell you?
No, you didn't. It will be much better.
Vamp a little because I gotta find it.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Well, where'd everybody? Oh, there we go.
Benjamin's still here.
He's still here.
Always in the office.
I thought you would have been working from home today, son. I guess last week when you tuned in, it was a Wednesday, but you were taking a day off.
Day.
Well, I'd like to think these would be okay for you guys to be watching from work anyway, especially for you and Thomas, because it's devotions. I mean, it's the ICR thing. So
although as long as you're talking to him and he's talking to you, this is really a personal phone call.
But this is a devotion time, and you guys don't have devotions there in the office on Wednesday morning, so you can have it with us. Cue everybody around you.
No.
Come join us, and you can still get devotions on Wednesday. And Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
So far.
All right. Go.
Oh, get started.
Yeah.
Sorry. This one is called, and again, our
Waxing
devotions,
old.
we are utilizing the Days of Praise by the Institute for Creation Research. You can find those at icr.org. I should put a graphic up just to
I'll make one for
give
you.
them reference. But anyway, today's devotion is called Waxing Old. It's written by Dr. Henry Morris. Again, he wrote a lot of ICR's devotions. Which is okay because he founded ICR, so he gets to do that.
Well, he got to do that.
He got to do that.
He's gone now.
Isaiah 51:6. Lift up your eyes to the heavens and look upon the earth beneath. For the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old like a garment, and they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished. This is going to be an uplifting one. Everybody dies.
Well, yeah. That's kind of the way God intended it.
Yeah. This verse is typical of many scriptures, Dr. Morris writes, that contrast this present, decaying, dying order of things, characterizing a world under God's curse, with the things that are not dying, and that will survive into the new order when the curse is removed. That's Revelation lays all that out. And,
I'm guessing Revelation 22:3.
Revelation 22:3 would sum that up, I guess. Let's see what that says. Why not? Revelation 22:3 says, "And there shall be no more curse." Aha. "But the throne of God and the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him."
It's a really cool thing about reading these devotions online from ICR is that they will, when it's specifically talking about a very specific Bible verse, they will include that as a thing that you can link on so that you can go to ICR's Bible side of their website and be able to see that verse in full. And, you can be able to go before or after because context is important. So if you're looking for a Bible to read online and you're looking for devotions to read online, I highly recommend these because, again, they do have a very easy click to an online Bible.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Although I will...
That's why it was really easy for you to be able to click on that and go to...
It was, but if you note, when I clicked on it and it popped up, it actually is just the one verse.
And then it's his book and chapter and all verses.
Yeah, you can go get more, but it's not as easy.
Oh, it's not as easy as Bible
popping
Gateway.
it up and then you see the whole chapter.
Okay.
So you were talking about context, which is crucially important, obviously. Yes, you're exactly right. But it takes...
I thought you guys made it easy to go next or
do.
Just previous.
We do, absolutely. But
Bible Gateway makes it really easy to do stuff like that. All right, we need to...
I'm sorry.
Get back to this, please. Thanks.
You want to read it?
Well, no, it's just we're live, and that could wait.
I didn't know if it could wait. That's why I had to check, and you were talking. So
It's my fault.
No, I didn't say it's your fault. I said you were talking. So I was okay to look at something else, and then you finished talking. "Even the present heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away," Jesus said in Matthew 24:35, which I could click and go look at. God, the Creator, who imposed the curse because of man's sin, is not himself subject to it. "They shall perish, but thou shalt endure. As a vesture shalt thou change form, and they shall be changed, but you are the same, and your years shall have no end." That's Psalm 102, verses 26 and 27.
Can you tell me what vesture means?
Clothing.
Thank you.
What you're wearing. So, like you change clothes, you'll change them.
You take off your old and put on your new.
There you go. Exactly right. As our text assures us, God's salvation and righteousness shall never be changed, even when earth and heaven flee away. The same contrasts exist in the biological realm. Isaiah wrote, the grass withers and the flower fades, but the word of our God shall stand forever. Human nature exhibits a similar phenomenon. Even when the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fail, but they... Did I say even when? Even the youths shall faint. So even the young will faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fail. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. That's Isaiah chapter 40, verses 30 and 31.
Yeah, I think I know 40:31.
40 and 31.
Huh.
What is Isaiah 40:31? What is that? Is that a thing? Anyway... This principle, in fact, applies to the entire creation. Romans 8 records that because the creation itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption, which is literally the word decay, into the glorious liberty of the children of God. Done.
So, I have to admit, when you were reading that paragraph before this, human nature exhibits a similar phenomenon. Dun, 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 dun.
We're dating ourselves, aren't we?
Well, we are dating each other.
Score. All right, waxing old. So
Yeah, there's a lot in this one.
there's a lot
and
in
my
this.
brain is not here today.
Well, it's not only that there's a lot in this one. There's just not. There's not.
It feels like it goes in a lot of different places, or it's just me not focusing.
No. Well, I don't think it goes in a lot of different places, but it's sort of talking about something which is true. So let's approach this from a different direction, okay? Because if you're not a Christian, if you're not a believer, then maybe you don't know, right? That all creation, Paul records, all creation groans under pressure, under the travail, right? Because of the curse. Well, what is the curse? What is the curse?
I'll defer to you on that one. I don't have words today.
Adam and Eve in the garden rebelled against God.
Oh, you're meaning the curse.
The curse, yeah.
Okay.
Did you not hear my capital C? No.
Or the capital T, the way I emphasize the. But yeah, anyway.
But when Adam and Eve sinned in the garden or rebelled against God, God, who had made everything
perfect.
very good for them.
But it wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough, that's right. And so he made it less than it had been by cursing the ground. So that rather than, Adam and Eve
cursing creation.
Rather than making a garden, like God had created this garden, and all Adam had to do was keep it and till it. He didn't have to plant it. There was nothing he had to do except like harvest. And
it's like there was work, but not necessarily labor.
Correct. I think that's a great way to put it. But the curse involved weeds.
Yeah.
Work.
Thorns.
Toil. Thorns. Yeah. So what had been a creation that was designed very specifically and uniquely to sustain and provide for human life, humanity would now need to work at. That's the curse. And that's why I have to go to work in 17 minutes. Right? Because we have to work now. We had to work before, but now it's a labor. It's a labor. I love my job. Don't get me wrong. But
it's easy.
It's not about just going out to. Literally, it could have been about going out to the backyard and picking dinner.
Right.
And some people do that.
Yeah.
But they have to work for it.
Right.
Right. And now, yeah. So that's what is being discussed here is the fact that you had this perfect creation, humanity sinned, so God cursed the creation. Fast forward in time sometime, and things had gotten really bad, and so God sent the flood. Noah, the famous survivor of the flood, he and his family, and that did an insane amount. Did you say insane?
No, I said cleansing.
Okay, yes. The purpose of the flood was to cleanse the earth, but it did an extraordinary amount of geological work as well, that we have
the mountains.
We have mountains and
canyons.
We have canyons and we have valleys and we have all this stuff. Probably the pre-flood world looked just completely different, even from just a layout. If you're talking about
one land,
Pangea, kind of a continent or supercontinent, all of that got sort of wiped away, and rather than what was probably rolling hills everywhere, we end up with huge mountain ranges, making travel difficult. Again, it's all part of that curse.
Yeah. But how amazing, though, at the same time that mountains were formed as a result of, it's a culmination of things that happened as a result of the curse, but they're so beautiful.
Well, they are. Yeah.
And it's something that came as a result of something bad is so beautiful.
It is. Yeah.
It's kind of like God's little, I still love you, but I'm mad at you. But but it's like the ultimate parent thing. I'll always love you. Might be disappointed in you, and there might be consequences. There's punishments, and I get to have my moment as a parent. But he gave us something beautiful to observe at the same time. After the fact. I don't know if that made sense.
No, it does make sense. It's
obviously we didn't live during the time of the flood. It would have taken a little bit for it to get to any kind of
not so beautiful
seeing
at the time,
beauty in the midst of the ashes. But that's
part of that is you're not wrong. I'm not trying to. Well, I'm just. You know me. I'm big on perspective, right? And so when Noah and his family disembarked on the ark, did they think the mountains were beautiful? They may not have, because the mountains were an impediment.
Yeah.
To doing. Even to
an obstacle.
Yeah, even to doing what God had commanded them to do at that point, which was to spread out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In their time, it would not have been looked at the same way as we can look at it 6,000 years later and say, what a beautiful world we have. It wouldn't have been then. It would have been seen as what just happened.
Right, what just happened.
In the ultimate moment.
Yeah. But so you had that going on, and then so the promise of Scripture is that all of that will be undone.
Right. Through Christ.
Yeah. That in the book of Revelation, you have, again, what appears to be at various points, and I can't point to specific things, but it appears to be kind of an undoing in some places of the flood. You have things that say the valleys will be raised up and the mountains will be laid low. It seems like...
almost getting back to pre-curse visual, maybe?
Don't jump ahead.
Sorry.
But you get a lot of that work being undone immediately before the second coming of Christ, right? And so then you have the second coming of Christ, and you have Christ reigning for 1,000 years. So you think about that 1,000-year period as reflecting the first about 1,000-year period, probably 1,500 years from Adam to Noah. So you have from Adam to Noah, and then the world changes, and then you're going to have the world change, and you're going to have Christ over this changed world for 1,000 years. And then God will just wipe it all away and restart with a new heavens and new earth. That's what comes at the end of Revelation. Yes, I peeked. I looked ahead.
Kind of like that perfect poetry, the mirrorism in Hebrew poetry.
Yeah, called chiasm. Is the the chiastic structure. So it goes one way and then goes another. So it builds up and then lets down or whatnot. Yeah. So.
Now, so I had asked you about vesture, talking about, I guess at that point, putting on a new person. They shall perish, but thou shalt endure. As a vesture shalt thou change them, and they shall be changed, but thou art the same, and thy years shall have no end.
Right. Because we do change. We die.
It reminded me of, in our Ruth study, when...
Ruth Esther? Sorry.
Naomi told Ruth to go change. She was sending her down to the threshing floor to meet Boaz. And it was, go take off go change your clothing, put on new clothing. And it was that potentially also the point of her taking off her mourning clothes, that she had been in time of mourning over her husband.
Mourning
for so
as an M-O-U-R-N-I.
M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G. Yeah, that word. But that taking off of the old and putting on the new, it was time to pivot. It was time to show that change in your life. And, we do that also through baptism. When there are baptisms, Doug usually refers to that as well, as do many pastors, not just Doug in this sense. But, it's shedding of an old life, taking on a new life.
Yeah. Well, that's the Bible.
Yeah.
Buried with Christ. Yeah. And raised with Christ to walk.
Yeah.
In newness of life.
And that change is something that it's so pivotal in our lives that even being a daughter of the King, I can turn and say, I need to I've already done that. I've taken on this new life as a believer in Christ. But there are also things that start to weigh down again, and sometimes you need to pop that off again too, and just let go of the things that pull you down.
You mean trust God? I mean, it's kind of been the theme for the last 2 weeks, right? And again, pivots really, well, it doesn't pivot, but I mean, dovetails really nicely off of what our pastor's been preaching about, and faith being trusting God enough to obey. I mean, even when we get weighed down, this is the same stuff we've been talking about. I think it's the devotions. I don't think it's us that keeps coming back to this.
No, when we get weighed down, we got to put it down.
Yep.
And leave it. And I'm not good at this part of taking things to the cross and putting it down at the cross and leaving it there. That's my problem.
Yeah, you're fine to put it down. You just take it home with you when it's over.
I do. Or I'll leave it for a little bit and then I'll go back and get it back. And,
well, we don't need to go into specifics. So let's start from the outset. I'm not going to go into specifics, but we had this conversation this morning. We want God to move in big ways
in our time. That's where I'm most impatient.
Yeah. So you want
a certain thing.
The answer to a question.
No, not the answer. I want my answer.
Well, no, hear me. You're right. You want.
I know how it's supposed to go.
But my point, the difference I'm trying to make is you want the answer to a question that you already know. When sometimes God gives you a lot of little answers.
Yeah.
And you gotta be grateful for the little answers.
Yeah.
They don't get you all the way where you want to go, but they get you closer.
Yeah.
Right? And they get you maybe just where you need to be today. And I mean, because that's what the Bible says. He says, "You don't who by worrying can add a day to their life," right? And Jesus said, "Don't worry about tomorrow." Right? Tomorrow has troubles of its own. Mm-hmm. God gives us enough for today. And we like to look ahead. We like to plan. We like to make sure we have everything set aside for a vacation, or we have everything all lined up for something. And when it doesn't happen
the way we expect,
6 months in advance, we don't have everything done. That may not be a curse. That might be a blessing.
Yeah.
It's just not the blessing we want.
Yeah.
I mean, we want it, but we really want the other one, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're talking money, right? You may really want to have enough money to pay the electric bill at the end of the month, and so you're looking for God to give you $300 now.
I'd love that bill.
No, you know what I'm saying.
I do.
But maybe
today it's just 20.
Maybe God drips $20. Maybe you find a 20. Maybe next week you'll find a 50. Maybe a week after that somebody will repay a debt you forgot that they had.
Yeah.
I mean, God works in those little moments.
Yeah.
Probably more than in the big ones.
Yeah, but we don't acknowledge them to God.
We don't tend to think about those as answers to prayer, right? We don't tend to think about somebody paying off a debt, for example, as an answer to prayer. We tend to think about that as they're just fulfilling their obligation. Right. So, but that's where it's hard. You talk about taking it off and putting it down and stuff like that. You got to put all that stuff that's weighing you down so that you can see those little things and be grateful for them.
Yeah.
For whatever, in whatever situation you find yourself. Anyway.
We went far afield of the devotion.
Yes, I know we did. But not really. Because, well, yeah, we did. But that's okay.
Yeah.
We tend to like to talk about what's on our mind.
Yeah. We're really grateful for those of you who stuck around. And if you were late in joining us, go back and watch it from the beginning. It wasn't as bad as yesterday's.
Yesterday was not bad. It wasn't as bad as that day last week when I didn't have coffee.
Yeah.
My eye has been watering.
So just as a reminder, we won't be live tomorrow morning, but we're going to try to do we're going to pre-record tomorrow's. Not right now. Don't worry. He's going to be going to work in a few minutes. But
I gotta change clothes.
at some point, we will be recording tomorrow's devotion because we have a son having dental surgery tomorrow. So we got to do the parent thing.
We could just do it
take care of him
live from the office.
No,
Because he's going in at 9, so we'll be sitting out there doing.
no,
No.
we'll be nice. So don't look for us live tomorrow at 9:30, but there's a way. I'm pretty sure that we can push
schedule
this
something.
for 9:30, or at some point tomorrow morning. We'll have our devotion up, but it just won't be live tomorrow. But we'll be back live on Friday morning at 9:30 Central.
On Rumble and YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah, and if you're watching on one of those, whichever platform you're watching on now, please do the appropriate like or follow. And go to the other ones too and like and follow so that you can get notified when we're there. And we would appreciate some people just following us so that we can potentially get seen by more and more people. And please share this with people that you think might need to hear a word from the Lord. Share it on whatever platform you're on if you're able to. We covet your prayers over our family business, the4031family.com. If there's any way that we can pray for you and your family, please feel free to drop a comment in the video here or send us an email at praywithme@the4031family.com.
Or you can send it just to Tammy or to Seth at the4031family.com.
Yeah.
And if you send it to just one of us, we promise not to talk about it. If you want us both to know, send it to the Pray With Me.
And if there's anything you want us to share for open prayers from others, you can do that too. We'll keep you anonymous, but nothing wrong with having prayers out there over you and over your situation. Yeah. So. All right.
So Benjamin on Facebook commented that we need to record our son tomorrow after his surgery and stream it live.
We're not going to do that.
Streaming it live was my idea. He didn't say that.
No. We've already had one child have wisdom tooth surgery. Second child's having it tomorrow. We're not recording. We didn't record the first one. We're not going to record this one. Not going to do that.
Those videos are so funny, though. Okay.
No.
All right, we won't.
I remember having my wisdom teeth surgery taken out. I wasn't told that I did anything weird, except that I was 21 and my nurse's name was Barbara. And when you've got a mouthful of gauze, it comes out blah. That's the only thing I remember.
That was a joke.
What?
Her name being Barbara.
No, it was Barbara.
No, it wasn't.
You weren't there.
That's okay. That's classic.
No, yes. I remember.
My name is Barbara, Mississippi. You can call me. No, I mean, come on. Sorry. Maybe it was Barbara.
It was.
Barbara, if that's your real name, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
All right. It's time for us to get to work.
I'll bet it was Barbara, Mississippi.
It was not Barbara, Mississippi. It was just Barbara.
Okay.
Anyway, we love you. And we, again, thank you for sticking through this one today. And
for the 4031 family, I'm Seth.
I'm Tammy.
Just remember, he's God.
We're not.
Have a great day.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.